Hello, my name is Debbie Zewe and Debbie Coss. We're doing this project jointly, and we're interviewing today Jean Zimmerman. Jean, can you tell me your name and your age?
My name is Jean Zimmerman, and I'm 85 years old.
And how long have you lived in Greene County?
It's about 1946.
What was it like when you first moved here?
Well, we lived shortly after I came up here. We moved from West Waynesburg out near the airport. My husband's father bought a 118-acre farm out there, and they were in the horse business, and that's why we had the acreage. Interest for our family was the horses, and my husband sold them over the phone, mostly for breeding, mares and a stallion once in a while. And it was quite a thriving business early in the 40s and early 50s, because pari-mutuel betting was getting to be very popular in the West, and they were looking for thoroughbred mares to cross with their quarter horses so that they could have more speed. My husband sold them. For years we bought and sold. And one man in particular in Oklahoma that my husband sold for over 20 years, selling horses, and they never met face to face. Jim knew what kind of horses the man liked, and when he'd get something and he knew met the eye picture that he wanted, why he'd call him. His name was Mr. Baker, and he would call him. Only one time anything ever went wrong, and they sent him the wrong horse one time, and we didn't know the difference, and neither did he until he went to check the tattoo marks, and found out that he had the wrong mare.
How would they get the horses clear to Oklahoma?
Well, sometimes on a railroad car.
Where did they tattoo them?
On the inside of the upper lip.
Tell us about some of your hobbies.
Well, at that time in my life, I had two young boys to take care of, and I really didn't have very many hobbies. We used to go to those auction sales on Saturday sometime. That was a big thing. Or go to the movie uptown. There wasn't a whole lot else to do.
Tell us how exercise has been part of your life. How long have you been exercising?
Well, my boys lived in South Carolina, and they have a spring, they call it Come See Me Week, and people, their azaleas are blooming at that time, and it's a real celebration thing. And they were going to have a race, a running race and a walk race, and the whole family was going to be in it one way or another. I was to go and take my mother down so she could see the flowers and everything. And I thought I might as well get legged up a little bit, and maybe I could walk in the walk race and not embarrass myself to that. So I started walking in the barn while I'd be waiting for Jim to come clean stalls. I'd walk back and forth in the barn until I got good and tired, and when the time came, I managed to walk the 2.5 miles, but I did not make a very fast time. That got me started into running, and from then for the next 20 years I ran.
I see you have some arrowheads and some artifacts on the table. Would you like to tell us about those?
Well, that's probably the biggest thing that ever happened to me, was when I started to be an archaeologist. And I didn't know whether I called myself an archaeologist or not, but that's what I do. and I have been doing it now for about 30 years, and spend a lot of time talking to the school children, and as they say, anybody that'll sit still long enough, if they give me a chance, well, I'll talk about archaeology. And there was a lot of it going on in Greene County. I started to learn, actually, it was through the college. They had a write up in the paper that they were going to start an after school type of a program. And it was going to be about the Greene County Indians.
Yeah.
That was a girl. She was 16, and she had that whole pot. You can see it's resting on her head in the picture. That's the way it was under the ground. Mm-hmm. And she had, at the back of her neck there, you'll see little white beads about that long. She had 11 beads that were scattered here on her shoulders. Her head was turned over that way. And most of the burials have the top of the head to the east. Hers was.
Do you know why?
Nobody ever wrote it down, but nearly every so often you'll find one the other way, but most of them are toward the east. Mm-hmm. But anyway, down between her ankles, she had little white, we used to call them lucky stones when I was a little kid. They're in gravel, just little smooth white stones. Mm-hmm. She had, I think it was 48 of them between her ankles, and her ankles were close together. And up in her pelvic area, you can see where her pelvis is, mm-hmm. right here. And down below her pelvis here on this piece of the pelvis, you'll see some little white flecks of, it's bone is what it is. It looks like. Uh-huh. And inside the pelvis, there are skull remains. And outside on this pelvis was the baby bones, like she was giving birth to a child. Mm. And probably bled to death. Mm. And she had to be something special because she had the burial material with her, which the rest of them didn't have anything. I think these two big rocks were by this guy here. And that's as near grave goods as they give them. Up along the lake, some of those places, every little child's burial has a little pot with it and has corn or something in it, you know, and all. But these that we find are, none of them had any kind of artifacts in them except this girl. And she had beautiful teeth. They were perfect. And so she had to be somebody, you know, really special. Made me feel bad when we took a good picture of her, and then when I saw what was going on, it made me feel bad.
Tell us why you decided to get a tattoo. I know you didn't get it early in your life.
No. I was well over 60. My grandfather had them. He had one on his arm, on his right arm, right below his elbow on the inside, right here. He had his initials. And I always thought if I was ever going to be someplace where they were doing them, I was going to get something put on my arm like my granddad had, because his greatest joy was to try to get us to rub that off.